What's going on YouTube? And it's your boy Vince Cartier, and we're doing another video. Yo, what's going on YouTube? So we're talking about making our hi-hat saucy, right? Now, I want to step out on the limb here and say, guys, don't crucify me for this, but there's really no hard rules, hard guidelines in where we can actually make our hi-hat saucy. Now, there are the normal ways or the normal go-to ways where persons in today's era who's making trap music, and I mean even in some EDM music and some other styles as well, where persons would go to their door and they would simply just go to the two-step rule where they will have the hi-hats go in this sort of pattern or motion. And I mean, that's common. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're doing that, that's fine. Hey, listen, go for it. Go for it. But I'm talking about making our hi-hats feel so saucy that when other persons hear your work, when other persons listens to your beats, and they be like, wow, that's an interesting pattern. That's what we're trying to get in today. So I want to encourage you guys to, just take a step, get out on that limb, and just nudge yourself a little bit out of that box of comfortability and try to make some more interesting grooves. And in this video, this is where we're going to do that. So if you're staying with me, stay tuned and let's get into it.
Alright, let's get into it. So the first thing that I did was I already dropped in a sample. It's one of my samples that I created, and I placed down a hi-hat bounce with a kick and an 808. This is what we have so far. Okay, so the only thing it's missing really is some hi-hats, maybe some transitions here and there, but we're going to get to that later. This is really a hi-hat tutorial, so let's get into those hi-hats. What we do, first thing that we're going to do is we're going to choose some dope hi-hats. Actually, with making beats, guys, it's all about important sound selections, and I've been using this kit for a pretty long time, and this kit, BWB, shout out to him. He makes good kits and his sound quality is pretty on point. Alright, so I'm just using his kits, and this is the hi-hat that I'm going to be using. And I'm going to choose another hi-hat. Alright, now this would be a two-step pattern in Fruity Loops FL Studio. It would sound like this. Right, that's your two-step loop. All right, we're trying to get away from that. We're trying to make saucy hi-hats, guys. We're trying to make it saucy. All right, so let's do it. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just gonna edit some notes, take out some notes here and there, switch it up a little bit, and see if we can bob our heads to it. All right, here we go. Now I'm gonna add some 30-second notes. All right, it's going to be one note that's going to be cut into half, which makes two. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to extend this 2-bar loop into, and I mean it all comes down to preference, guys. You don't have to make the second half of the loop exactly like how you made the first, but I think it's better to do it this way because if you're giving a rapper a certain flow, you don't want to put something there that's going to change up his flow too much. But it all comes down to preference, like I said before. On the second half of the loop, I'm just going to make some variations here and there. Let's see what it comes up with. All right, now I feel that's cool. Now, what we're going to do before we move on to the second half of, well, the next part of making our second hi-hats, we're just going to play with the velocities a little bit, because when a drummer plays, even though this is digital music, we're still trying to create a feeling, we're still trying to create a vibe. So when a drummer plays, he isn't playing like he has a lot of feel. He's changing up his velocities. So what we're going to do is we're going to, just mess with the velocities here one time. All right, cool. So once you play with the velocities, I'm going to put this back to a 2-bar loop because I want to play with some pitches. We're going to start to change the pitch of some hi-hats. And for this part of it, I think in my head, or I start to sing it out so I know exactly what I want, because when you're just in here clicking, it takes up a lot of time. All right, so that's the groove that I'm going to play right now. I don't like this sound. Let's choose another one. All right, we're just gonna turn it down a little bit. Right? So ta 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 ta. All right. I mean, it's gonna feel weird, but it works. Because we have this section going on, I would try to limit this, because what it's going to do is going to start masking each other out. So I'm just going to just remove those, keep this how it is. Or I can go into our division and just do something like this. So now that we have our bases down, what we're going to do is I'm going to dump this. If you're in FL Studio, you don't have to do all of that. You can just simply just to the sequencer and you're good. But for us Logic users, we got to do something a little bit different. Well, for me in particular.
that brings us to the end of our video. I really hope that you enjoyed that video. I hope you were able to get all of the nuggets in that video. And just in case that you skip into the end of the video, here are the 4 things that you want to remember when dressing up your hi-hats. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. You want to keep that groove in the song. You want to keep it going. And then after you would have established that first pattern, you want to then come back to it, and then you want to change up the division of the hi-hats so that you can have different set of notes in there, like 30-second notes, the triplets, what goes like things like that. After you would have done that, get in there and mess with those velocities. Put some of those velocities down and then put some of them up. Even have something, even have some of them going up like this and then coming down like that. You want to make it very interesting. Keep in mind, we all have short attention spans. And that is our video for today. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I really hope that you were able to attain the nuggets that were in that video. EQing, compression, velocity changing, changing up the divisions of the hi-hats, moving things around, getting that groove to feel right. Do everything that it takes. Do everything that you need to do in order to make that song groove, because it's up to you as a producer to really inspire that artist. So keep on going, keep on making music.